So we have got a big deal for you now, a very special offer for a limited time. We bring these to you every week on QVC, and this is all about supplementing your diet. It's from Prime 50, which is a range formulated specially for those of us over 50, but you can take them if we're a bit younger. We'll explain all in a second. This is the Immunity Health Gut and Immunity Supplement. It is a triple pack. You get 3 packs of 30, so it's a 90-day supply. Normally £42 here at QVC. We have them for £30, and this triple pack is just for us here at QVC. Dr. Max Gowland, of course, is the man behind the brand. Nice to see you.
Hi, good to be back.
You are a doctor of biochemistry, of course, and you formulated this, as I briefly touched on, for those of us over 50, didn't you? Because we have different needs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as we get a little bit older, a lot of things go a little bit wrong, or they're a little bit slow, the metabolic mechanisms that keep us healthy. And this is a brand new product for QVC. It's the only gut and immunity product around.
Brilliant.
And it's a beautiful combination 2-in-1 product. First of all, we're looking after our immunity, and we'll talk about that in a second, but we're also going to look after our gut health, which is so important.
Now, we hear a lot about gut health, don't we, and how important it is for general health and particularly for immunity as well. There's a lot out there about it. And I suppose the fact is that, like all the supplements you bring us, we are deficient in many things, and we try and get them all from our diet, but it doesn't necessarily work like that.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a slide later on to talk about that, but let's start with immune function, because we all want to be, we all want our immune function to be, firing on 6 cylinders. And unfortunately, our immune system is under attack all the time. If we have a poor diet, if we're taking in low amounts of vitamins and minerals, which I'll explain we are, if we're a little bit sedentary, if we're stressed, which a lot of us are right now, if we're not sleeping that well, and some of us, maybe yourself, are over-exercising, you can be a bit more prone.
Yes, I do tend to over-exercise.
So, our immune system is under attack. And that can lead to, respiratory tract infections. It can lead to colds, flu, and all the other things.
Sure. And can I just say that you do have a 90-day money-back guarantee on a 90-day supply with this, which is incredible. That's for the whole length of the use of this offer, which is incredible. So if you're not quite sure, get them home, try them, start to see a difference. If you're not happy, you can always return them to us. But this saving will not be with us for very long. Getting them for £30. I mean, it's £10 a month. It's very good.
Yes,
you think about it, break it down per day. So what's in them? Let's talk about what's in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, we're going to talk about the 14-strain live bacteria in a minute. But let's start off with the micronutrients, the vitamins and the minerals. A lot of people are aware that a vitamin C is an immunity vitamin, but a lot of people don't know that you need to get all the immunity vitamins and minerals. Even copper helps us. Even iron and selenium help us. So these are all the Food Standards Agency approved vitamins and minerals that allow us to talk about health and immunity. Things like vitamin D, which is the master vitamin as far as immunity is concerned, and other things like Vit C, selenium, B6, B12, and a few others. Every single one of those is in this product. And you talked about something a minute ago, Jackie, which was nutrient deficiencies. So there's a lovely little slide here I've taken from Public Health England data. So being a scientist, I only believe data. And you can see I've just chosen the immunity vitamins and minerals here. And you can see vitamin D, over 80% are not getting enough vitamin D.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It really is a lot. Take iron, over 80% are not getting enough iron. Selenium, 75%. But all of these are needed to help our immune system. And if we're not getting the RDA, the recommended daily allowance of these, then our immune system will not function as effectively.
And this is one capsule. There's 2 of them sitting in front of the little box there. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'm going to pick one up. I think I'm allowed to pick one up just to show you the size of that. So that is a capsule, but you could break that open and put it into a drink or something if you don't like to take tablets. But it's just a little capsule there, as you can see. So it's 1 a day, and that's all it takes to get all of that goodness into us.
Any time of day, preferably with a cold drink, preferably with a meal, because then the fat-soluble vitamins like D will much better dissolve.
Is there anyone who can't take these?
No.
No?
Perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay for vegetarians and vegans.
Oh, amazing. Vegetarian and vegan, great. And gluten-free, I assume?
Yes, absolutely.
And,
free of everything.
Free of everything.
Apart from goodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Now, just to go back to the age thing, because we touched on that as well, Prime 50, obviously formulated especially for the over 50s. If I'm 40, I'm not. I wish I was. If I was 40, if I was 35, is it okay to take
Yes,
them?
I have tens of thousands of people who are much younger, in their 20s and 30s, because they see the product being discussed on QVC.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to do is to think about what happens when we get a little bit older. That's why it's a specialised system.
Okay, perfect. So remember, you were getting a 3-month supply. And even if we think we have a really healthy, balanced diet, we eat all our fruit and veg and all of that, do you think this would still be beneficial to us?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because, you know, we need to talk about the microbiome now, because that's a fascinating field of science. And I think people will hear more and more and more about the microbiome. So very, very briefly, in a nutshell. First of all, we have about 10 trillion human cells.
Right.
We actually have over 100 trillion bacteria.
Right.
And probably 500 million viruses inside our colon, inside our gut.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So we're actually more microbial than we are human, which is fact, which is extraordinary.
Wow.
That means that the microbiome, the gut, has a massive influence on our health.
Yes.
And therefore, we need to keep the microbiome as healthy as possible. For example, look at that slide. It says 70% of our immune system is, guess where? In the gut.
In our gut.
So that's why it's so important to keep the gut healthy.
Yeah.
There's over 1,000 different types of bacteria, but not all of them are good. About 85% are really good and healthful bacteria, but about 15% are not so good. And as we get a little bit older, the balance changes.
Right.
You can see on this slide, good and bad is about, you know, in equilibrium when we're a bit younger. As we age, unfortunately, we have a few more baddies starting to appear.
Scales tip.
Absolutely. And this is called dysbiosis. This is where the bug, the good and bad bugs, gets a little bit out of kilter. And that can lead to what's called immunosenescence. That's when the immune system is not as good as it used to be. So what we're trying to do with this product is, first of all, look after our immunity with micronutrients, but also with digestive health and 14 strain of live bacteria. You get a lot of products, Jackie, where you've got 1 or 2 strains of bugs. Forget those, they're a waste of space.
Okay.
You know, getting variability in the bugs is what it's all about. So we've got 14 strains of live bacteria. We have products in there for fatigue. We have nutrients in there to guard against a whole load of things like hormonal balance, because we want our hormones to be as perfect as possible. So we've thought about every single thing. Absolutely. Gut health is so important, and it affects every part of our health as we go forward.
It's so interesting, because you think about children who seem to bounce back from illnesses so quickly, and as you get older it's harder, and that is all to do with the immune system.
Yes,
so give it a little boost. And obviously at the moment we're so aware of health in general, aren't we? And you know, so maybe it's worth a try to give that a go with a 90-day money-back guarantee, a 90-day supply. I mean, you can't argue with that, can you? And that saving won't be there for long. That is a big deal, which is not around for very long. 100 of you have already snapped this up in the last few minutes. Make sure you check out your baskets. £30 for 3 whole months.